Welcome, everyone. Happy holidays to you who celebrated Thanksgiving. We are back. It is Father Son Galaxy. We are Father Son Galaxy. I am Kerwin. This is Keith.
Hello.
All right. We are so glad to be back.
I am here.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, 2 weeks. So I remember, we were planning to do this review or talk about, have a discussion on Asajj Ventress, right?
For
And the
months
reason,
now.
yeah. So let's go back. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you if you're on the live stream. If you're on Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. Leave your comments. We love having comments and questions that you have throughout. So this subject is going to be about Asajj Ventress, character study. Now, if you recall, at the end of Ahsoka, right, it is the Night Sisters and Thrawn that are taken back to Dathomir. Have no idea why Thrawn would be interested in going to Dathomir, but that's where they are. So we thought, okay, well, this would be a good time to talk about the people of Dathomir, right? So we talked about Maul, Mother Talzin. All right. So now we're going to talk about Asajj Ventress, okay? And the information that we have is based on a few of the Clone Wars episodes. And it's also going to be, well, most of what we're going to talk about is going to be based on this book, Dark Disciple, right? By Christy Golden. Great book. I don't know if you've read it, let us know, but I highly recommend it. It's a great read. So this was actually based on unproduced screenplays of the Clone Wars. I think at the time the show was canceled, but then they brought it back for season 7. So instead of, they didn't know if they were going to return or not. So they decided to just put it in a book form. And the screenplay episodes were written by Katie Lucas. Okay. So book by Chrissy Golden, written by Katie Lucas. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Asajj Ventress. She was born on Dathomir. We know her mother is a Night Sister. Don't know too much about her mother. But she, the Coven, the Night Sisters were forced to give up the baby, right? Asajj. We don't know why. I'm not exactly sure, but they gave her up to this pirate named Halstead, right? Okay. And then the pirate takes her back to this planet called Ratatak. What a great name for a planet. Ratatak. Okay. So he takes her to Ratatak. And he actually trains her, and she's working close to him, and she's almost like an apprentice to him, right? And she refers to this pirate as master. But then there was a battle that took place on this planet. These Weequay pirates, as they're called.
Hondo.
Yes, right.
Hondo species.
There was a battle between these pirates and Halstead and his clan. Halstead loses his life.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so he's gone. And
Rip number 1.
And the Jedi apparently were also assisting the pirates, not the Weequay pirates, but the pirates, Halstead's clan. They were there trying to keep the peace. And who shows up with this Jedi named Kai Narek? I don't know much about Kai Narek, but
because there isn't much about him.
There isn't much to say about him. Okay. But what we know about Kai Narek is he takes on this little girl, Asajj Ventress, as a Padawan, so he takes her up
for a short time.
Right. And she, very young. And he didn't want to leave her on this planet. He thought it was too dangerous for her to be there. So he decides to take her, and he trains her up to be a Jedi Knight. Right?
Yeah.
And as you said, unfortunately, he doesn't last very long. All right.
He went back to Ratatak and got killed by more pirates.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's true. All right. So Narek noticed that she has great force sensibilities. All right. So he thought he can hone in on that and train her up to be one of these great Jedi warriors. But it didn't happen that way. Unfortunately, like you said, she was strong in the force, but her master was killed, unfortunately, by the same pirates on Ratatak. All right. So apparently they never left Ratatak. I don't know. But
and he didn't think to not go back.
Right. And I don't know why they decided to stay, but he lost his life as well. Okay. So now
Rip number 2.
Now, Asajj Ventress, I mean, just think about it. I mean, this tragedy that she's been having, pretty much since she was born, the people who have been caring for her and taking care of her either been taken away from her, literally taken away, or the lies are taken away. So this is her second master at such a young age, and she loses Kai Narek, the second master.
Bye-bye.
And at this point, now she's angry, okay? And she is going after these pirates, and like Kai said, she's got great force sensibilities. She is trained to use the lightsaber, and she is wiping out these pirates.
Perfect.
Yes. And wouldn't it be, what a coincidence that you would have a Sith Lord right at the moment watching her unfold and, showing her strength and her dark side. Who else but
Dooku.
Count Dooku.
Who but the mighty Dooku?
The mighty Dooku shows up, and he is looking at her, and he is admiring this little Padawan, and he says, "I can sense the darkness in you. I will teach you the ways of the dark side." And then the two of them go off, and he trains her as his dark acolyte. Okay?
And an assassin.
Fully trained assassin. Now,
they literally should be an unstoppable duo rivaling the likes of Anakin and Ahsoka. But there's more on Dooku's side and Ventress's side that sours that deal. More on that later.
Well, the first question I need to ask is, well, why would Count Dooku? So, of course, let's go back. You can't always assume that everyone knows who's listening or watching who Count Dooku is. We know at this point, Count Dooku has taken the place of Darth Maul as Sidious' apprentice, right?
And it's really weird because I thought there was a rule of two, but then Sidious had Maul as an apprentice, but then Maul got his legs cut off and he supposedly died, so he took on Dooku as an apprentice, and then Dooku took on Ventress as an apprentice. But while they were doing that, Maul came back and took his brother Savage as an apprentice, and then Palpatine fought both of them, took out Savage and injured Maul, and then Anakin took out Dooku, so Palpatine took on Anakin as his new Padawan, and then took out literally every other Jedi except for a handful.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is still the rule of two. What Maul was trying to do.
It's the rule of two, not the rule of five, guys.
Yeah, but what Maul was trying to do.
Guys.
He was trying to negate Sidious's rule of two, right? Because he felt that his position in power next to Sidious was taken away from him.
It kind of was. I mean, he died.
He was supposed to be gone. So Sidious didn't know that. So I can understand Palpatine taking on another apprentice.
Yeah.
But Maul was not having it. So he comes back and says, "Hey, look, I'm back." And, Sidious says, "Well, too late. I don't need you. I already have an apprentice." But, so he got upset and he wanted to create his own rule of two.
He said, "No."
Right. So you're right. He wanted to, be the master, and he had his brother Savage Opress be the apprentice.
He wanted power, basically.
Oh, absolutely. He
was too power hungry.
All Darth Maul was after.
His
was
greed blindsided him.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the question I'm asking myself is, well, why does Dooku, who is an apprentice to Darth Sidious, need an apprentice? Right? So you have a good point there. Okay, it's the rule of two. So why does the apprentice need an apprentice?
Well,
very interesting question. Go ahead. What you
Dooku wants to take out Sidious and then become the new master.
Ah, interesting.
And then Ventress will be his full-on Padawan, rather than like a Padawan unofficially.
Mm-hmm. So that's very interesting. So Sidious is unaware that Dooku is taking on an apprentice because Dooku apparently, like we just talked about power, wants to take power away from Sidious, right?
Who wouldn't?
Right. So his goal is to take Sidious out so that he can become master and bring in Asajj Ventress to be the apprentice. Now, here's the thing. Sidious is a very smart man, as we know. So they have this meeting. So Sidious calls a meeting with Dooku, and Dooku is standing there, and it's the hologram of Sidious, and Sidious calls him to the mat and says, "Well, this acolyte of yours is getting very powerful. What's going on? Why is she here? Is basically what he's asking. Like, well, who is she? Why is she
Wait,
here?
Bertha, what's going on?
So and then Dooku said, "Oh, nothing. She's just here to help out. When she,
She's just here to pick up some of the slack that I leave behind.
When I take a day off, she'll come in. It's just the
if
same
I ever
thing,
want to take a nice vacation on Coruscant, I'll have Ventress fill in for me.
But Dooku is not a dumb man. He says to I'm sorry, Sidious is not a dumb man. He says to Dooku, you know what? I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to take me out and you're going to use her to do it. And I don't like it. And I want you to be loyal to me and tell me and promise me that you are going to get rid of your apprentice, Asajj Ventress. How about that?
And get rid of your apprentice, Asajj Ventress.
Yes. And what's
it?
Yes. It rhymes.
Dr. Seuss.
Okay, very good.
Ate a moose
with a goose.
That was obtuse.
All right. So
and then that found a rubber goose.
That makes sense, right? So of course Dooku is like, oh, well, I'm sorry, your Highness. I didn't mean to offend you. Of course, yeah, I'll take care of Asajj Ventress for you. He can't lead on that was his plan. So Dooku arranges to take his apprentice out. So he sets her up. Causes, she's on a ship. He's got battle droids going after her, and they're attacking the ship. She's actually after, I think it was, I recall, is Kenobi and Anakin. She's going after the Jedi, and the battle droids are going after her. They knock out the ship, and they think that Dooku thinks that she's dead and she's gone. And she's not, she actually survives, but she's badly injured. But she manages to get back to Dathomir, okay? And she returns to Dathomir and tells Mother Talzin, who we've already talked about who Mother Talzin is, and tells her what happened, that Dooku tried to take her out. And Talzin says something very interesting. She says, I remember the day we were forced to give you up to protect the clan. Your sacrifice has never been forgotten. All right. Yeah. And that's what Talzin told Asajj Ventress.
By the way, if you ever feel silly, just remember that Count Dooku's Darth name is Darth Tyrannus.
That's true.
And secondly, Captain America tried to choke out a robot in Age of Ultron. So if you ever feel stupid, just remember those moments.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. So when Ventress returns to Dathomir, she needs to be healed. So there's this ritual that the Night Sisters perform, and she, they say a prayer or whatever it is, or whatever you call it. They cast a spell on her, and this is where we see flashbacks of where Asajj Ventress started on her journey, right? So the flashbacks of her being this little child, being taken away by Halstead, then Halstead getting taken down, then Kai Narek coming in and he gets taken down, and
by the same pirates,
right? And she is found by Dooku. So we see all that unfold in this episode of the Clone Wars. So we know her backstory, through these visions that we have. So now she's back and she's healthy, and now she wants revenge. Okay. And they go after Dooku. They go to Serrano, to his home. She and two other Night Sisters, they're dressed in, mask and garb. You don't know who they are.
Well, the red ones?
I think they're red. They're like ninjas. They're dressed like ninjas. They look like ninjas. You couldn't tell who they were. They hid their faces, but there was no match for Dooku. I mean, it was actually a pretty decent scene. If you go back and look at that Clone Wars episode, it was fantastic. They put up a good fight, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't take him out. And they actually ended back going to Dathomir and says, well, it didn't work out. It failed. So now they have to come up with another game plan. All right. So can we stop and maybe if we have Q&A, just say hello to whoever's here. All right.
Tyler Smith.
There we got Tyler Smith. Thank you so much, Tyler. Sidious sees any form of failure as a weakness and better watch out at that point. How he sets up Vader to either succeed and get stronger or fail and replace. Yes, he is very manipulative. He doesn't have any loyalty to anyone, but yet he wants people to be loyal to him.
Alex, welcome, council member.
Yep. Alex, welcome. I hope you had a very good holiday weekend. Alex says, I haven't read Dark Disciple. The author's name sounds very familiar also. I don't know if she's written anything else. I'll need to look into that. But yeah, pick it up. Pick up this book. If you have it, it's a wonderful read. It's a quick read as well, actually. All right. Okay. So we can move on. Okay. So now this was something that was interesting. I don't know if it kind of makes sense to me, but here's what happens. So Dooku at this point believes Asajj is gone. She's dead. He goes back to Dathomir to find a replacement. Why would you go back to the same place where you got your first apprentice to get another apprentice?
I know, right? Like Dooku, that's like buying a package of chips, eating half the bag, and then going back to the store, returning it, and getting another bag with the money you got. Like,
yeah,
it just feels weird that you would get rid of something perfectly good to then get the exact same thing.
Right. It seems risky on his part.
Like, he literally took out his old apprentice from Dathomir,
right, yeah,
and then expected a warm welcome when he went back to grab another one from the same planet and the exact same
yeah
people.
I mean, that's either very cruel or
very stupid
or senseless. Yes, right, exactly. So
we should start calling Dooku Sensei senseless.
So so he's going back to Dathomir. So he has to pretend that he has no idea what happened to Asajj. The only thing he knows is that she's dead, she's gone. He doesn't want to lead on that he was the cause of her dying, her death. But he goes back to the Night Sisters and pretends, oh, well, she was such a great apprentice. And, I want to be loyal to the Night Sisters and I want another apprentice.
He's like, Dathomirians make
right
for good apprentices.
Exactly.
They're very good at doing your taxes.
That's right.
So I'm back.
That's right. We cool, we tight. You and me, Mother Talzin, whatever I need, I know you got it.
We're
right?
Chill. It's exactly. All right. I'll just take another one of your children.
Yeah. So they have a history, Dathomir and Dooku apparently, because you remember Maul came from Dathomir and he was a very loyal apprentice to Sidious. And now we know what happened to Maul, and then came Asajj from Dathomir. She was loyal up to a point, and then now she's gone, taken out by her own master, and now he's going back for somebody else. Okay, so this is what Talzin has cooked up. She says, yes, I will give you another apprentice. And here's we will train this person up for you, get them ready for you, and he will make you the best apprentice that you've ever had. And you know who this person turns out to be? Asajj Ventress. All right. Now, Asajj Ventress is from
He's the yellow Darth Maul.
And it's called Zabrak, right? Yeah. You pronounce it.
Dathomirian Zabrak.
Yeah. So he is the male species, right? And Talzin has the bright idea that she's going to have Asajj Ventress be the next apprentice to actually ultimately kill Sidious, right? Because Talzin,
there are so many schemes and behind schemes. Dooku's trying to take out Ventress.
Right.
But Ventress wanted to take him out. And Sidious is trying to take out Dooku.
Yes.
But then Dooku wants to take on a second apprentice after he takes out Ventress. And then Mother Talzin steps in and offers him an apprentice who happens to be Asajj, who's planning to kill Dooku and then take his place. It's just so much scheming.
Yeah, so here's a senseless part on
Sensei senseless.
Yes, this is the part that doesn't make sense on Dooku's part. Of course, Talzin knows that. Well, he doesn't know that, but Talzin knows what happened. The real story.
Mother Talzin's not stupid,
right? So again, I would not have returned to Dathomir for any reason whatsoever because I just feel like I would be set up. I had an apprentice from Dathomir and I lost that apprentice and I want to go back and get another one from the same place. Bad mistake. Anyway, So this is the reason that Savage Ventress has been chosen.
He
to
passed some
eventually,
tests.
yeah, to eventually take out Dooku, and he did very well. I mean, it was narrowed down to 2 Zabraks.
It's like getting into college,
right? And Asajj Ventress put them through this training. It's like the Olympics. I mean, and he was the last man standing. He got the job, and he went, and now he's the new apprentice, and he's terrible. It was like Dooku is pushing him around, this big dude, right? This powerful dude,
kind of using him as a lapdog,
and he's being pushed around by Dooku, like force lightning here, throw him over there. It's not working. Okay, so now
Dooku's just straight ragdolling poor Savage.
Yes, right.
And he's like, you know what? I'm out of this place. I'm gonna go find Maul.
Right. So now the gig is up. Savage Ventress and Ventress, now it's time to strike, and they're going after Dooku. And now Dooku knows, wait, you're still alive. Yes, she is. And the two of them go after him, Savage and Ventress. Of course, they fail again because Dooku is much too powerful. And then that's it. And then we know the fate of Savage because you mentioned that he becomes Maul's apprentice. And then the two of them,
beefy.
Yeah, and then the two of them went after the Emperor, and the Emperor, took care of business.
The Emperor just said,
yeah. Yeah, and then
the Emperor pulled an ebony maul, just like...
Right, okay. So now we're at a point where Dooku,
we're going to stop for Q&A.
Well, okay. Well, when
That's
we
the
see
point we're at.
Yeah, well, when we see the sign come up, the producer has to give us the sign for Q&A. But I'll continue. So we're at the point now that Dooku is just wrecking havoc. He is running wild. He needs to be stopped. And this is where we pick up in the book Dark Disciple, where Q&A. And this is where we pick up Dark Disciple. So let's do Q&A, and then we'll talk about Dark Disciple. So who do we have? All right. Oh, Ocharina. Hello. Hi. You were talking about Asajj Ventress, so I was summoned. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've seen that name before.
Well,
yeah,
Katrina.
Thank you so much. Talzin is a master orchestrator. That's why
name.
She was such a threat to Palpatine. She put up a good fight with Palpatine. Yeah. I mean, they go way back.
She just gotta look like Palpatine.
Okay. Is that a compliment? No.
I mean, have you seen Palpatine?
Well, yeah, he doesn't look very good.
How did his face even get like that? Like, I get Mace Windu bending to Force lightning back in there, but was that how he looked the whole time, or just melting?
That was never explained.
Did he start melting?
Wait a minute, you still have not seen all of Episode 3, right? Revenge of the Sith. It didn't make any sense. I can say that.
He started melting.
Yeah, so I guess. Well, it happened when he was under attack by.
Yeah, he was under attack.
Mace Windu.
Because he started throwing some Force lightning, and Mace Windu said,
"Yes, right."
And then Palpatine's like, "Anakin, kill him!"
Yes.
And then Anakin's just sitting there befuddled.
Yeah, Anakin's like, "What do I do?"
He's befuddled, and then he threw Mace Windu out of a window.
That's exactly
instead of just pushing Mace Windu out of the way and saying, "What are you doing? You need to explain to me."
Yeah.
He threw him out of a window.
Exactly right. That was not necessary. Poor guy. All right. So
yeah, by the way, did you know Mace Windu only has a purple lightsaber because Samuel L. Jackson liked it?
Yes, he requested a purple lightsaber. I remember hearing that story.
If I'm ever in Star Wars,
that's power.
Yes. And I get a lightsaber, I want my lightsaber to be like some rare color that nobody else ever has and ever will get.
Coral. Anyway, okay. Coral's the color. It's a nice color. Okay.
It's got to be a shade of blue.
A shade of blue, okay.
You see the blue on that
aquamarine.
You see the blue on that Moon Girl Funko Pop? Like that shade of blue.
Something. Okay, that's like a sky blue. Right, sky blue or ocean blue. Yeah, ocean blue.
But that's way too similar. You know what? A yellow lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cornflower blue. Okay. All right. Don't know what that means. All right. Okay.
Oh, a diamond colored lightsaber.
A diamond? What color is a diamond?
Blue.
Blue?
It's like a really light blue.
Blue diamond. Okay. All right. Got it. All right.
Minecraft.
Okay. So we'll talk more about lightsabers, but anyway. Okay, so now we're talking about
mint-colored lightsaber.
Mint-colored lightsaber.
Well, I wonder if it's scented.
Ah,
I'm just gonna put my nose really close to this lightsaber and find out.
How about a peppermint stick lightsaber for the holidays?
Christmas theme.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Aquamarine's pretty cool. Tyler Smith says
is if they make a Christmas movie where the main character uses candy canes as weapons.
Yeah.
Like bites the end and like takes a bite out of the candy cane and says, "No presents for you. You're on the naughty list this year," and then starts throwing candy canes at people.
All right, that's cool.
That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
No, it would be. No, it's funny. Okay. All right. So
I think that's very funny.
Let's get going. All right. So let's talk about. All right. So now we're talking about Dark Disciple. So now, as I was saying, Dooku is running wild. He's wrecking havoc. He needs to be stopped. I'm telling you, it's so bad that even the Jedi says he needs to be stopped.
Yeah, the Jedi Council ordered execute him.
Yes. And wow, can you imagine? Because the Jedi would never get to a point where they actually say it's time to take out someone. But at this point, Yoda's had enough. Mace Windu's had enough. Let's take out this guy. This is it. That's all we got to do. And then and what they do is they hire a Jedi Knight, all right, named Quinlan Vos, all right, to not kill him immediately, Dooku, but actually work together with Asajj Ventress. All right? Because Asajj, who knows Dooku better than Ventress? Okay, so the plan is that Quinlan Vos is going to go in and strike up a conversation with Ventress, have a nice relationship with her and get to know her, and then get her to be an ally to go after Dooku once again.
Yeah. Stupid question real quick.
No, it's not stupid.
So, do the actors who play Marvel characters exist in
We're talking about Marvel?
Okay. No, it's just like...
Is this not Star Wars?
Does Steve Rogers have a Chris Evans?
Oh, Alex. Thank you, Alex.
Like, is there a Chris Evans in the main timeline? Is there a Samuel L. Jackson or a Elizabeth Olsen or a Dua Lipa or a Harry Styles somewhere in there?
Now, what does this say? So, Alex, I wonder if Steve Rogers felt confused when he saw Mace Windu, since his diary listed Star Wars as things to check out. That's right. That's a good point. Mace Windu is Nick Fury's doppelganger. Yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
I like that, Alex. Very good point. Yes, Keith?
So, Harry Styles has the same face as Star Fox.
Okay.
So, can they both sing?
Well, I think it's just looks, right? It's not about talent.
Okay. If they have the same face, they would have the same vocal cords.
Maybe. That doesn't mean that they can both sing. Okay. All right. Are we done talking about Marvel? Can we get back to Star Wars now? All right. Here we go.
No, we cannot.
Okay. Here we go.
Now for more philosophical Marvel questions.
All right. So now we got Quinlan Vos. And this is your guy, right? You're a fan of Quinlan Vos. Okay. Now you're not saying anything. Okay.
Yeah. All right. He's actually not human.
Oh, okay. All right. But you like Quinlan Vos. All right. So now the two of them are together. They're working together. Yeah. Now what he does, he doesn't actually tell Ventress that he's a Jedi. So he keeps his force powers in check, tries to make sure that he doesn't show off or anything like that. And he becomes a bounty hunter because at this point in time, and that's what Asajj is doing as a profession, she's a bounty hunter. So in order to get to know her better, he becomes a bounty hunter. They actually go on missions and or assignments, and they go bounty hunting. And at some point, the cat's out of the bag. He makes a mistake, and he uses his force power, and she realizes that he is force sensitive, and he confesses that he's a Jedi Knight. He was brought by the council to work with you to defeat Darth Tyrannus. Okay, she says, all right, I'm on board.
Darth Tyrannus is the single silliest Darth name I've ever heard. They should have just called him Darth Dooku.
Okay.
That would have made even more sense.
Now, this is what Asajj tells him. In order for you to defeat Sidious, you got to be as dark as he is. You got to bring out your dark side. You have to be dark, okay?
You got to be evil.
And when she says dark, she means darkety dark.
Like as dark as these cover images.
Right. So what she does is she takes Quinlan to Dathomir, okay? And shows him what darkness looks like. And she is training him on that planet, and she is trying to get him to embrace his dark side, and it is working. I mean, he is dark, and he's trying to get his mindset ready to defeat Sidious, defeat Tyrannus. And then one thing that let me just say this real quick. And one thing that she says to him to get him right over the edge, Quinlan Vos had a master named Tome. We don't know much. I don't think we know anything about his master. We just know him by name, Master Tome. Apparently, the story goes is that, well, according to Ventress, is that Dooku killed his master, Master Tome.
Yeah, and that set Quinlan, him off. He's like, so dude, train even harder.
Yes, right.
Insert the epic montage.
Yes, right.
To
play the Rocky theme
from Adobe stock.
And he's ready to go after Dooku. All right. So now, once again, they're ready to go. They're ready to go for Dooku, and there's a fight that comes up. But before we talk about that, we have a trivia question. So if you're on the if you're listening to us or watching us, there's a trivia question. You want to read a trivia question?
Yes.
Okay.
Who was Quinlan Vos's apprentice? If you have the answer, put it in chat, and we will answer the question at the end of the episode.
Right.
So stay tuned, and if you're correct, we will send you a package of nothing.
Okay, very good. All right, that was more than I was going to offer, but hey, just a nice trivia question. Are you gonna take
their stuff for getting it right?
Just a nice trivia question out there. If anybody knows it, drop it in the comments like Keith said. All right. Okay, so moving on. So now there are many opportunities for Vos to go after Dooku, right? Both Vos and Asajj Ventress fail both times. Now, there was a point where they did get very close. And, Vos used his dark side force powers. It didn't work. What actually ended up happening was that he got captured by Dooku. Rather than kill Dooku, Dooku captures him and tortures him, holds him prisoner. All right. And now the Jedi have to come up with a rescue mission. All right. So now the Jedi is going out, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is leading the charge, and he finds Quinlan Vos. He's not in a very good state. He just looks terrible.
Quinlan Vos is like depressed and emo.
Right, yeah. So, with Ventress's help, then Obi-Wan Kenobi saves Vos, takes him back to the ship, takes him back to Coruscant, and Dooku gets away. All right? Once again. Okay, so now back at the Jedi Council. Let's talk about the Jedi Council meeting on Dathomir. So Vos is back on Coruscant, and he explains the situation. Well, he had to explain to Yoda and the council, well, what happened? Did you get close? And he said, well, I was almost there. Just give me another chance to take him out. Just, I know I messed up the first time, but just give me another chance. Give me another chance. This is Vos. Okay. And they said, all right, well, we're going to give you another chance. So now, if Vos fails, right, Obi-Wan is given. No, Mace Windu in this book, Dark Disciple, was not very nice to anybody.
Was he ever nice?
Well, so in this book, he just reached the limit. Like, he was just, I've had it up to here with the Sith. I had it up to here with Dooku. Vos, I'm ready to get rid of him because he's not doing us any favors.
Quinlan!
So he tells Obi-Wan, if Quinlan Vos fails his mission again to kill Dooku, then you need to get rid of Quinlan Vos.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's a bold statement.
That is rough.
They wouldn't get rid of Obi-Wan because he couldn't catch Grievous.
Yeah. Well, so Mace Windu wasn't having it. All right. So now the final battle takes place on Christophsis, right?
Christophsis.
Right. Yes.
Christophsis.
Okay. And then we're getting towards the end of the book. So now Ventress and Vos, they confront Dooku one more time. Vos can't do it for some reason. He freezes when he tries to go after Dooku.
What is wrong with him?
I think he's just the dark side is just taken over, right? He's not in control of his mind. He can't control.
Is he dumb?
Well, he just can't control the dark side. He can't control his force powers.
Like, dude couldn't fight Dooku when he had the drop on him?
He had the drop on Dooku many times, and he just couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to do it.
I find it amazing that Quinlan Vos manages to successfully fail multiple times.
Yeah. So
he failed so many times you'd think he was a double agent.
Yeah, it was very bad. It looked like this was not good for Vos. All right, so now the Jedi, meanwhile, they're starting their own strike plan. All right, they're gonna try to take out Dooku themselves in case Vos doesn't succeed, and they send in some troops with weapons, bombs, and there's this tower where Vos and Ventress and Dooku are located, and they just decide to just drop bombs on the tower, right?
Send in the nukes.
The Jedi are not playing, okay? And then Dooku again, the Sith are full of lies, right?
Wait, the Jedi drop bombs on the tower where a Jedi was actively working to take out Dooku?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? Are they dumb too?
No, they're not dumb.
Are they brain dead?
Keith, what is the goal? The goal is to get rid of Dooku.
Yeah, right? I know, but would you really sacrifice two people who are actively trying to take out Dooku?
Well, that's what Mace wanted. So Mace said, okay, well, if Vos can't do it, then you need to take them both out.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Suppose Vos and Ventress were literally trying to get to Dooku. You take them both out with the bombs, which then alert Dooku that somebody's there, and he escapes. Because then you would have just taken out two people for no reason whatsoever and had no results to justify it.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so Dooku confronts Asajj Ventress, and he starts spreading these lies about Vos and says to her that he is now a Dark Lord. Quinlan Vos is a Dark Lord. He cannot be turned. He has sworn allegiance to the dark side. And this is the reason why.
Since when has swearing allegiance ever stopped anybody from turning back to the light?
Well, this is what Dooku is trying to portray, that the reason why Quinlan can't kill him is because he's seduced by the dark side. So what he says is he has sworn allegiance to the dark side. He means himself and Quinlan Vos, will take down Lord Sidious and once and for all rule the galaxy together. Yeah. Right? How many times have you said that, right? He said the same thing to Asajj Ventress. You and I are going to take out Sidious. That didn't work out.
Nah, Dooku did try to take her out. So.
Well, right. He didn't, and he also said the same thing to his next apprentice, Savage Press. That didn't work out. And now apparently Quinlan Vos is now this, dark side user. And, now the two of them are going to be the ones to take down Sidious.
He's just trying to find people who he can lie to and then get rid of.
Exactly. So now what he does instead is he knows that he's not telling the truth. And Vos is not going to, take out Sidious for him. And Dooku decides, okay, well, I had enough with Quinlan Vos. I'm going to try to take him out. And then he uses his Force Lightning. Ventress, the brave warrior, actually deflects and pushes Vos out of the way, and she gets the impact of the lightning.
How's what? If she force pushed him out of the way, she would have had no need to die.
Well, actually, no. I misspoke. No, she didn't force push him. She pushed him, like literally pushed him out of the way.
But she's force sensitive.
I know. She could have force.
That's like
force pushed him. Yes,
that's like grabbing a tennis racket to deflect a rock being thrown at somebody.
Okay.
When you could just use something. That's like trying to block a rock with your hand when you could use a racket.
Well, I don't. Well, okay. So you remember the bombs that were dropping on the tower?
Yeah, she got injured, right?
She got severely injured. So that could be part of the reason why she didn't use her force powers. Maybe she didn't have enough strength.
Pushed him physically? What?
Oh, okay. Look, I didn't write the book. I'm just telling you
she could have just force pushed him.
Okay. All right. So she didn't force push him. All right. But she did a very brave thing. She pushed him out of the way. she got the brunt of the Force lightning, and now she's like on a dying breath now. And then
more like a fried potato.
oh, and then once again, Dooku escapes. Okay.
Of course he does.
Yeah, and now,
I mean, just the stupidest things that these Jedi are doing. They're persecuting Ahsoka. They're making Anakin forego attachments. They're bombing the very people who are trying to stop Dooku and effectively let him escape.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make so many serious blunders that you could make a whole Netflix series out of them.
Yeah, well,
they already have. That's what the Star Wars prequels are.
But if you think about it, Keith, that's not what the Jedi is for, right? They've been forced into these wars and battles because of the Republic, right?
Who
because
put Mace Windu in charge? If you have somebody in charge,
can I answer this
question? I'm
trying to make a point here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a point here. So the Jedi have been forced to do things that they're not trained to do. They're peacekeepers. They're not war generals, right? But they're put in that position to be because of the Republic, because of the Palpatine as senator or chancellor wanted the Jedi to fight for the Republic, right? So yeah, they're going to make mistakes because this is not what they're trained to do. This is not war. They're peacekeepers. So yeah, so they're going to make mistakes
because they're peacekeepers.
Well, they're supposed to be peacekeepers, right? But they end up making mistakes. They made lots of mistakes. We don't even want to go into it. We talked about how the Jedi failed lots of people. Okay. But yeah, so this was not something that they're trained to do anyway. So again, Ventress is on her dying breath. Vos holds her and confesses how much he loves her. That they've grown fond of each other, over time since they met, and he tells her the truth that he was consumed by the dark side, and he just didn't know how to control it, right? And he didn't want to tell her that, or he didn't realize that he was consumed by the dark side. So that's it. And then in her dying breath, this is something that was very nice, well written. Her last words to Vos was, "Remember, you always have the choice to be better. You always have the choice to pick the right path, even if that choice comes a little late." And that's it. And after that, she was gone. And then so Vos.
That's not fantastic.
Who said fantastic?
I know. That's not great.
Well, yeah.
That Ventress didn't even do that much.
She didn't do that much?
No, I mean like in the Clone Wars.
Well,
she didn't have that much screen time.
You're right. That's a very good point.
Out of like the 7 seasons, she was
You
in like
saw her in a handful of episodes. I think she really did deserve to have more episodes.
Could have wrote a few more books about Ventress there,
Well, true, right? Maybe you still can, but I think that's the reason.
Those scrapped Clone Wars arcs weren't exactly canon because they were never released.
Remember what I said earlier, that they had plans to create more episodes about Ventress, but the show was canceled, right? Mm-hmm. So they took those screenplays and put it into that Dark Disciple book, which again is a great book. But yes, they could have spent more time. Had they had more time to spend with more episodes of Asajj Ventress, I think everybody would love it. But that's not to say that we're not going to see her again. I mean, there's still stories to tell. They can come up with something else. All right, so then the last scene, let me finish this up. And the last scene is Vos and Kenobi take Asajj back to home, back to Dathomir, and gives her to her sisters, and they lay her to rest. And that is how it ends. That is the book. All right. So now I know that's
not a very
that's a down ending. Well, this is the end. This is how the book ends. All right. So it's a down ending. We're going to be upbeat. We'll talk about a few things, but that's the book. Okay. All right. Let's get to.
Tell I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Oh, you'll be fine. Okay. Back to the trivia question. Can you read the trivia question again, please?
Yeah, who was Quinlan Vos's apprentice?
All right. Oh, Katrina got it right. Aya Sakura. There you go. Thank you very much, oh Katrina. Good job. Good job. All right. That's it. That is the answer. And I think maybe Charlie got it right too. Or I might have saw.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Anyway, that is our third rip of the video.
R.I.P. Ventress. Yeah. It's a very, very good book. Katrina said, look, she didn't die on the screen, but Star Wars rules, they can bring her back. Absolutely right.
Honestly, at this point, if people can survive lightsaber stabs as many times as they have.
Yes.
I mean, Qui-Gon should have just been more angry that he would have survived. I mean, Maul did it.
That's true. Maul got cut in half, and he still
Maul
survived.
Literally got his bottom half separated from his top half. Grand Inquisitor got stabbed. Reva got stabbed once as a kid and once as an adult, and then Sabine got stabbed. You know what? Just a history of people getting stabbed with lightsabers.
Yeah,
and then just be like, tra la 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 la.
Hey, all you gotta do is you patch it up, some sewing, and they're good. Alex, I saw that. I mean, one with the spice, Alex. They go. The good ones.
Even blasters aren't even working anymore. Fennec Shan survived it.
Charlie, thank you. Just happy to be here. We're happy to have you here. Who's this?
Fennec Shan.
Yes, right.
She had shot in the stomach, and she's still alive.
Right, and she has some machine parts put together there and kept her going. Yeah, that's true.
This is weird.
That's true. It's Star Wars. Tyler Smith says, "You aren't a Star Wars character if you haven't been shot." You aren't a Star Wars character if you haven't been shot, stabbed, or lost a limb.
I mean, I think that kind of runs in the Skywalker family at this point. Luke and his dad managed to lose hands.
Tyler, you covered it. Yeah, hey, look, Star Wars is rough, Lots. That's why they call it war. It's wars, right? Wars is Star Wars. What did Alex say? Alex says, reminds me of those who joke about school nurses' solution of using ice for everything. Interesting. Yeah, well, how about that?
I broke my leg. Here, have some ice. It'll heal.
Yeah, right.
It's a meme.
Or Robitussin, right? You throw some Robitussin on it. Oh, you broke your leg? Well, put some Robitussin on it. That was a Chris Rock joke. All right. Charlie, yeah, I like the idea of having maybe...
Skywalker tech.
Yeah. I does this mean Rey's going to lose her arm in the next movie? Uh-oh. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't know. Don't know.
She's not really a Skywalker, though.
Oh, Keith. Ow. Are we going to go there?
No, I mean that because she's not directly related to any Skywalker.
Well, true.
And just decided, I don't have a last name, so I'm going to take the last name of the man who chucked his own lightsaber
we know that.
over the ocean.
Stay on target. All right. So, are you saying that because she's not related to Skywalker that she doesn't have to worry about losing a limb?
Now, the instant she took the Skywalker name, now she's going to have to suffer the consequences of the Skywalker.
That's right. If you want to be a Skywalker, you got to lose a limb.
Yeah.
Although Leia never lost a limb.
Good point.
Okay. Anyway, so that's fine. All right. So cool. Okay. Yeah, I saw Charlie's message. I like the idea of having Asajj Ventress in Tales of the Jedi Season 2. I think that would make sense, right? Because she was at one point a Jedi, right? I would love to see that. That'd be awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be nice because the only thing we ever got about her time as a youngling were flashbacks. Oh, Katrina, yes, once the adoption papers are signed, you have to lose a limb. I wonder if Red's gonna lose a hand to an empty Pringles can.
Oh,
that's happened before.
Just Star Wars humor, everyone. So this is very cool. All right. So that is it. That is the story of Asajj Ventress. Once again, I cannot stress enough how exciting and I'm using the word wonderful. I know it's downbeat and I know it doesn't end on a happy note, but it's a great book, Dark Disciple. Can I have it again so I can hold it up again?
Absolutely not.
All right. So Dark Disciple, highly recommended. Please, please pick it up if you have not read it. It's a wonderful book. All right. Okay. So before we go, I wanted to say a couple of things. So we're planning out December, so please, if you are, if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get to know when we'll be back. But we're putting some great interviews together. We're going to do a couple of end of the year wrap ups. So we're going to be busy in December. Okay, so just stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, and then you'll know when we will be back. All right. And then the other thing I want to say now, this past December 1st, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny dropped on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty cool.
Oh, by the way, can we get an advent calendar?
Isn't it too late to get one?
No.
No?
I could just do multiple Lego builds for one day.
All right, we'll look into that. Okay.
We could go to Target. They're pretty cheap.
That's cool. And then if you have any final comments, let us know. Just drop them in. Yes, so the Dial of Destiny dropped on Disney Plus December 1st. But even more interesting, not that the movie was not interesting, there is a documentary out about Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, right? And I was excited to see when I went on to look at the screen that the documentary is actually an hour and a half. I was so glad it wasn't one of these featurettes where it's like 15 minutes and they're just going to just talk and nothing happens. And
not one of those two yaps in the videos.
Right, yeah.
I mean, at least it's longer than the Eminem concert on Fortnite.
Yeah, so this was 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes documentary. It was wonderful. I'm going to watch it again. Very emotional. I was not expecting that to happen, but it was, it's Harrison Ford. If you think about it, just having, just looking back at this storied career that he had, and, he's just worked with the best in the business. And, he gets teared up and he gets very emotional. It's wonderful to see. So if you have not seen the documentary on Disney Plus, I highly recommend it. We are having technical difficulties, unfortunately, but we're trying to see if we can get the visual back. I hope you can still hear us. Let us know if you can still hear us, at least. But okay. We lost a limb, but you lose your camera. Skywalker found. Hey, these things happen, Alex. We apologize for that.
The Force Ghost must be playing
the
tricks
Force
on us.
Ghost, yeah. But that was pretty much it. So we'll work on the camera. Let me know if you have any final comments. We can look at final comments. You want to tell people where they could find us? Tyler can hear us fine. So you just can't see us. You can hear us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
wherever you
X,
get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Don't mention that.
Yeah. So
socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father Son Galaxy. Website, FatherSonGalaxy.com. Please check out our merch store, Patreon.com/FatherSonGalaxy is our Patreon page. And our website, FatherSonGalaxy.com. Please check it out.
All right. So thank you once again, everyone. We truly apologize for the last minute technical difficulties, but we are.
Cameras are funny, aren't they?
Yeah, but we got the episode done. So if you can still hear us, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on. Please like and follow us once again. We will be back in December. We got some things cooking up, so can't wait to tell you about it very soon. All right. So until next time. Take care. And we will see you again.